basically saying thank you for 1,000 subscribers on this channel. It's quite impressive. You know, this is a very specific and small community, or a specific niche with like a pretty small community. And when I started this channel, like, I wasn't anticipating really anything, to be honest. It was kind of just an experimental channel to see if there was a market for this type of content. And I mean, obviously I did it for the enjoyment of it, that's why I continue to do it. But now that there's like an audience, I'm very thankful and happy that people actually enjoyed the content, because I don't know, a year ago I didn't think anyone would watch this content anyway. But yeah, anyway, I just want to really say thank you, and I appreciate everyone for coming out to the videos and hanging out, and hopefully you find them all relaxing or enjoyable or informative, because for me it's enjoyable to make as well. So anyway, I have some comments and some questions that people asked me. I did make a Q&A post last week, however, I don't know if it got to everybody because only a few people did comment, but hey, maybe some people just didn't have any questions, you know, so. But if anyone does have any extra questions, just leave them down below, and I'll either answer them there or try to make a video if it's like a lengthy topic. I have the Thinkorswim charts up. I'll probably be scanning through some charts just for fun, and because it's been a while since I've actually really done anything. So I'll do that probably in the background as we answer some questions. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else before I want to say before we jump into. I don't think so. So let's get into some questions. So first question: when did you start getting interest into stocks? What made you get an interest? I think. Okay, so I'm gonna go as far back as I can remember. Whoops, what did I just do? I first got interested in the stock market in, I think, 7th grade is the first time I think I actually had an experience with it, because we had a class and they wanted us to like look at the market and make a portfolio or something. It was really random because it was in a history class. So we ended up like doing that, and I talked to my dad about it, and he would always watch like the CNBC channels or the shows on CNBC. So I would just naturally like at dinner watch the shows as well. But you know, it never really made sense to me. It just, you know, because if you're not immersed in the world, it's kind of just like what's happening, you know. So anyway, we had some like project, and I talked to my dad. We picked out some stocks. Like I remember Ford, we picked out. Activision, we definitely picked out. So I remember Activision was like $14 at the time. So we gotta go way back. This is, man, 7th grade. This was high school for me. So let's go. 2010, yeah, it was around Call of Duty, so it was around like this time. Yeah, and I was all excited because Call of Duty, I was like, who makes God? You know, you see the Treyarch and Activision logo pop up, so naturally I'm like, I want to buy this stock. And yeah, that's interesting. Just remember that it kind of goes up on a tear. Then ironically, this is where I bought Activision these months, and then it crashed. But yeah, that's my first, I think, experience with the market. And I can't say I was interested in it at the time, because, you know, you're a kid. Like, Call of Duty is much more interesting than making some money or like buying some internet paper, you know. So I can't say I was interested in. But I think I started to get really interested in, man, actually, when was it? I mean, I guess 4 years ago. I guess actually I was always interested in like Pokemon cards and those type of collectibles. I just like collecting things and watching like something turn into something else, if that makes sense. Like I like that type of process. So I mean, I like collecting Pokemon cards, and in a way, like stocks are kind of like Pokemon cards. You kind of collect them, you buy some, you trade them around. If you don't want it anymore, So it's just a little bit more dry. It doesn't have like art to it. I guess there is like an art form to it, but it's not like a, there's no pictures. There's no real like character designs, but so I guess I knew that like Pokemon was fun and buying all that stuff was enjoyable, but liquidating that product's hard. Even acquiring it's kind of difficult, and it takes up space. And like stocks is like kind of the same thing. You can like twist your mind and say, oh, it kind of is the same thing. You're buying and selling some asset. You gotta collect the good ones. You gotta pick them out in the crowd. And this is so much easier to buy and sell. The market's huge. There's more, actually, I guess there's more Pokemon cards, let's say for example, but there's only a very select few good ones. I guess in a way there's more good stocks you can invest or trade and actually accumulate wealth. So that was my first like interest in that. And then in I guess my like sophomore year of college, I started, I had engineering degree and I liked like math and stuff, but I was getting like bored of what we were doing, and I was like, how do I just make a lot of money, or how do I use this like knowledge to my advantage? And then kind of decided to look at the market in a different way, kind of take a technical approach, like use patterns, and from what I learned in school with like statistics and probability, and just like that type of knowledge I learned at school, I wanted to see if I could apply that to the market to make some money. And I don't know, I thought it'd be fun too. So there's also like there's a big problem, like, no, it's not a problem, but it could be a problem. Like the problem is, how do you position your money and wealth in like stocks or like investment vehicles and watch it grow, or like where's a really optimal like place to put it at a certain time? I thought that was a nice, interesting, and mentally challenging problem that I could try to tackle like outside of school. So I also got interested in that, and I think that's kind of where it snowballed. I think, what was the original question? I was going on for a while. When did you start getting an interest in stocks? What made you get an interest? So what made me, yeah, I guess I did answer that, but just to wrap up really quickly what I said, I started getting interest, I would say, probably like college, like early college. That's when I actually did. Even though I had experience before, minimal, and what made me get an interest was just the liquidity, the movement of money, and I like the collecting aspect. You gotta find some good ones, and I don't know, it's just interesting. I can't explain why I like that. It's like I have a bunch of Pokemon cards, right, and that makes more sense because it's like nostalgia and stuff, but this is kind of the same thing if you really think about it, or at least in some aspects of it. Interesting. CVS. Any advice for people who are starting to invest? I'm not 18 yet, so I don't know the legal aspects of investing. So, I mean, just real quick, even if you're not of age, you can still like paper trade and like mentally trade, like if I were to buy this, like why am I buying this? And just write down a piece of paper, like, why do I find this company valuable? Where do I see it in X amount of years? Like, ask yourself good questions about the company. But it also depends on the type of investor you're going to be. Like, investing, when you really think about it, is I'm just going to buy a really good company for whatever reason, reasons you decide. But if you want to like trade, it's definitely different and more active. But yeah, it depends on like how much time you're gonna commit to it and everything. But yeah, don't just because you're not of age yet doesn't mean you can't participate. I guess you can't like actually put real money down, but you can still write on a piece of paper or mentally note it or just something, any advice. So just real quick, again, this is not actual advice because I'm kind of an idiot. I don't make a lot of money, I'm just a normal dude, just likes to whisper in a microphone. So take this all with a grain of salt. But any advice for people who are starting to invest? So if I had to give myself advice, maybe let's say like 5 years ago, I think whatever amount of money. Actually, if I was to invest though, okay, so I want to answer specifically for investing. This is not trading or anything, just investing. I would say just buy good companies at like a reasonable cost of something. So let me go to an example. So I had Procter Gamble. Let's see. $70, 2018, right here. No. You know what? Let's see if this will work. Show trades. It's not gonna work. Okay, so I had Procter Gamble, $83, and then I sold it for 87, and then 91. Then I bought it again. Less shares for 103. We had a huge run up, actually. That's actually 20 something percent, yeah. Then we had COVID, it crashed all the way down. I would have made no gains. Then it went all the way back up. Why did I buy Procter Gamble back here? I bought this for a loss. I don't remember why I made this trade. But what I'm trying to say is if you're investing and you're young, I think this decision was really smart, right? So this was like a $22 per share trade, so it's like 20 something percent. Dividend, it depends. Again, I'm trying to use my words carefully. I think for a trade this would have been good, but Procter Gamble's a company you invest in. You kind of just park your money there and then just chill. I think after I sold this, I like this company. I don't love it, but I like it. I should have just bought it at like 100. Now why 100? Because psychologically, like that's so cheap. But again, everyone else is probably thinking that, so probably like 105, start picking up some shares. Just because psychologically, again, $100 is a very strong psychological support. So, and then that, maybe hold on. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you got a company and it's up like 50%, if you're not investing in it for maybe like 10 years or whatever, maybe take some shares off or whatever, but you're not, the goal is to build wealth, right? So if I'm buying in and out of these things, like, let's say like Procter Gamble, a very good dividend company to build wealth, like, I think you should just stay in the stock the whole time. Because if I didn't do anything, I mean, again, this is all hindsight. Like, I'm looking in the past. But at the end of the day, like, this company is paying a good dividend. It's a very stable company. They got like a pretty decent payout ratio. They're making money. Even if there was a pandemic or like another crash and this kept going down, hopefully I have like some cash flow that I can buy some more down here. But just hang on to good companies, don't sell. Same thing with McDonald's. I think I was smart because I had McDonald's maybe like 180 or something, and then I sold it before the crash. Actually, you know what? Let's see if it'll work again. I had McDonald's 83, sold it 87 and 90, bought it again 103. Wait a minute. Wait, this is bugged. That's not what it's supposed to say. Alright, this software doesn't like me, so I don't know why I did that. But let's say I bought down here, then I sold over here, and then now I don't have any McDonald's and it's back over here. Again, this could have went down, it could have done whatever, but like, I don't have any McDonald's shares now. So if you buy something, make sure it's a good company, and just don't worry about it if you're investing, and especially if you're young. Just build the wealth, focus on making money, and then buying good quality companies. Don't worry about buying in and out of shares all the time, unless if you have a lot of time on your hands and like you think it's fun, like, 'cause I think it's pretty fun to do so, but I think if I had to give myself advice, it would be much more psychologically, like, easy on the mind, you know? If you just, I'm gonna buy this because I know it's a good company, and I don't really care what happens because I'm gonna be making, hopefully I have a job eventually, or I guess I was at school during the time, but hopefully I was making money elsewhere, and not worrying about buying in and out of this. But another thing, advice, okay, for me, focus on really macro trend lines. Like you look at this trend line back from 2015. This is fine for McDonald's. Like I should be bought. The fact that it went all the way down here might be scary, but buy that. Or I should have bought that. If we go back to Procter & Gamble, we probably see a similar thing. Maybe not actually, because 2008. Let's see if we go 2010. Maybe not really. That's not a good example. I think the new one right now is Lockheed. This is a big boy trend line. Like, I am getting ready to buy if it goes here, because it's just such a big trend line that's kind of technically where value is. So I'm getting hyped for that. Let's see. 3M was the one that I did or bought. We had this massive trend line down. I think this was Corona. Let's get something else. Corona. I knew eventually this would probably break out. So I just hung on to my shares, bought some more down here. I don't think down here, I think I bought up here, like the 150s. 155, maybe 160. And then eventually broke out, so I got a good company. I'm in at a pretty reasonable price. Got that appreciation, but just get those dividends. Hang on and don't buy in and out of really good quality companies. Unless you have a reason to, that's the thing too. You gotta find like one reason why I don't like 3M right now is because they have so much debt and leverage. Not a fan of it, but we'll see what happens. Right now they should be quite solid company, but I don't like how much debt they're taking on, how leveraged they are, and they're still paying out a lot of dividends. I think I hammered that a lot, so real quick, if I have to sum it up in a few bullet points, buy some good quality companies, focus on making money, and then putting money into good company stocks. Don't trade in and out too often, unless if you want to be a trader, but make sure you have a very solid base of good quality companies, or even ETFs, whatever, like fit your investment, like ideas or goals, I guess is a better word. Best stocks in your opinion right now, how many shares should someone buy? So, just get the second part of the question out of the way. How many shares? It's kind of impossible to say that because everyone's going to be making a different amount of money. They're going to have a different amount of investing goals. And each stock has a different amount of cost anyway, so that's just no way to answer that question. Best stocks in your opinion right now. So, in my humble opinion, I don't think really any stock is like a buy. Like I gotta go out tomorrow and buy it. Lockheed Martin is getting there for me. Northern Grumman is getting there technically. I think there are a lot of great companies. They're just expensive. Like I still, hypothetically, maybe if this stock dropped 10 to 15%, yeah, that would be a good place in my opinion. ExxonMobil down here was a heavy buy to me, but so I guess I want to answer different aspects of the question. Like what companies do I think are amazing? They're not a buy in my opinion, but it's amazing. Not amazing. I hate that word. Not hate that word, but it's just not a good word. I think Disney is a great, solid company. They have, in my opinion, it's like an ETF of entertainment. They got all the parks, they got hotels, cruises, they got characters in movies and different franchises. They got the streaming software now. The fan base for Disney is some of the most loyal customers I've ever spoke with. so their streaming software, in my opinion, is going to be so much better than all the other streaming platforms just because they have exclusive content that people are going to watch because they have, let's say, like Frozen. If you want to watch Frozen and all the other spin-offs of that, you got to have Disney Plus. So no matter what, I think they're going to do very well. Even if let's say it's not as big as like Netflix or something, I think they're going to be customers are still going to want to watch things on Disney Plus. That's just my opinion. And they're going to need it. This platform. Or that company. There's something else I needed to add about that. I was trying to say two things at once. I don't know. Let me check real quick. I'm just going to check something. There was a time when Netflix and Disney had the same market cap. Netflix market cap right now is 236 billion, about 236. Disney's is 321. Okay, so Disney's market cap is actually a lot higher. But there was a time when Netflix market cap was like double Disney's, and it made no sense because Disney was already making their streaming platform. Actually, yeah, I guess that's when Disney literally, before this big move up, because their market cap increased by, like, let's say 25%, keep it simple, they were like the same market cap, Disney and Netflix, and Disney has parks, resorts, all this other exclusive, like customer specific, like content and experiences with the customer loyalty, and Netflix just has a little bit of a part of what Disney has, but I guess Netflix has the customers, but I don't think they have at least sustainability of the business with the content. And anyway, I've kind of just gone on a tangent. I think Disney is a great company. I don't think it's a buy up here. This trend line maybe, but I think it's coming down a little bit. I don't want to sell because I sold during this and I didn't buy back till like over here like an idiot. So, and I like the company, so I'm not selling regardless of where it goes because I don't want to miss out. Because I'm already in it. I'm in it like 140s. Hopefully they bring back the dividend, but I think this is just such a great entertainment company. I don't need to own any other entertainment if I got Disney. I think any company with silver and uranium might have a lot of explosive growth depending on how the I guess commodity performs, because I think there's going to be a lot more inflation, so naturally like commodity companies will be doing much better just because they kind of have to, or they're going to increase their prices to keep the company in, or sorry, not keep the company, to keep like the profit there. But hold on. So CCJ, I kind of labeled as a good uranium company, and MAG, I like this as a silver royalty company. They only have like 10 employees or something, but they're really smart people. I don't think it's a thing too. I wouldn't say it's a buy at like above $20. Same thing with CCJ. Like above, let's say, this price, but I don't know where it's going. The price of these commodities could really do whatever, especially silver right now. Let's say it's in this channel. Yeah, it might go down, it might not, but right now it's like in between the channel of average price. But I think owning some's better than not, so I'm keeping some. But I wouldn't say it's like once the commodity price moves explosively, kind of similarly to what happened to SM Energy with oil. Like, I don't know when you get out of these, but I'd rather get out and take a good profit than hang on and wait for it to fall. But yeah, I think if I had to pick really any company, Disney's my bet. Let me see my investing companies as well, or the companies I want to invest in. Google also is really powerful. I don't think it's a buy at these prices, even though it might go higher. too and I bought it, then I sold it like an idiot. I think Google is just so powerful. YouTube is such a great platform. Their you call it Google search engine is like the best. I don't think most people use anything else. And if they do, then they have probably specific reasons not to, but Google's great. Yeah. I think that's all. I mean, there's a lot of great companies out there, but those are the ones that are my top favorites. Yeah, but I wouldn't say anything is like a super buy right now if that's what you meant by best stock, but best company is, yeah, I think Disney. Let's see, what's the highest return from a stock you've invested in? So, okay, the specific question was stock. So, a stock would probably be this AMD trade we had. I'm trying to think. It was from like 54 to 80. That's when I basically sold, so almost 50%. Stock though. Actually, AG. I think we had this. I had this at $7, and I think I sold it for like here. So this was another like 50% trade. But the big winner was SLV, the ETF. I don't want to put on the trades because there's like 100 trades from like here to here. Not 100, but maybe like 20. So I think I had silver up here, so maybe $16. You know, I was trading in this like range. I was feeling good. I was liking silver for a while. You know, we had this big downtrend. I think I was even getting in, back here. Had a spike, then I bought more here. Then Corona crash. I was buying, especially this day. I think I actually did buy that day. But definitely I bought this day, 100%. Sorry, that's not a day. So this is SLV, the ETF. So definitely bought this day. This day, I think down here definitely bought, and some of these back when it retested. Then I didn't buy anything else. I think the average price was like $12. So I had whatever my shares up here, and then whatever down here averaged out to maybe not 12, maybe it's like 13. Then let's go to bigger time frame. Let's say it was this line, $13. I don't know. We had this huge move up to 27. I was selling. I didn't sell. Sorry, I sold at 16 because I thought it was gonna come up at like 17 here. I think I sold like 25%. Shot up. I think on $20 when I started selling again. Then I sold. I don't even know. I think after I saw this funnel, I kind of just got out because, actually, I'm gonna take a look. Let's take a look. Okay, there's a lot of stuff on the chart, so these canceled each other out. So I started a position here after I sold these. This was actually for a loss. I'm an idiot. So, bought here. This was during, like basically during. Bought more. This was a very big position, $11. This was the biggest position. These two. This equaled those two. Then we added more here. I sold a pretty big position. But then I bought it back for, I don't know what I was doing. Sold a very little bit this day. Yeah, once I thought it was gonna break out again. No, sorry, sell. This was a very big sell here. Sell to get out here. But I was buying back. What the heck? So these are weekly though. I was very aggressive. Way too aggressive. I literally bought and sold like the same week. But yeah, so this was, I don't remember exactly what the percentage was, but I think it was over 80% easily. So, I mean, the max it could have been, max would have been 100 about. So we sold a little here though. The big seller, I don't see the big sell. I guess over here was really chunky though. No, sorry, our big sell was here. $22. So that was already, yeah, that was dumb. That was already like 15% off the high. It was very volatile. I thought it was gonna break out again. I was getting ambitious because, let me take this off real quick. Because this is a bear or a bull flag, so technically, like, you would think it would go up after that strong move, but it was just way too strong. It had to come back to retest something. But yeah, that was crazy trade. I'm still bullish on silver. Very short-term bearish. I think it's gonna retest 23. I mean, we had all these wicks, but now it's trekking higher. But I don't know. I don't know what it's doing. All right. So best long-term growth ETFs. So I'm not an ETF connoisseur, but here's my thing. I think most ETFs are just, okay, like the big ones obviously are just fine investment vehicles. I don't think you need to be too picky. Like, I don't see anything wrong with just buying the SPY, because, I mean, not right now. I think this is way off of like any technical trend line. It's literally like parabolic. But yeah, anyway, I think just slowly putting money into like an ETF is a decent idea for the best long-term growth ETF. If you want growth, I would say maybe like a commodity ETF, because like obviously not a timber one. Oil maybe, but oil's price is pretty off the charts. Man, this is beautiful to look at. We were talking about this all over here. So, but yeah, sorry. I think a tech ETF is very bad to get in right now. I think tech is just too expensive. So it's not gonna grow as fast as other like ETFs. I think that's a good way to look at it too, in a way. Like for me, like if I want the most growth, I'm gonna look at what got hit the hardest. Maybe like the bottom 10 or like sectors that got hit really hard. And then I want to see which ones are gonna fit my thesis. Like, what do I think is gonna be profitable in the future? I'm trying to think of an example, but the only thing that comes to mind is like silver and gold. So yeah. JDX. I traded this as well. These are 5-year chart. Let's go even more. No, let's go more. So this is an ETF. So this is what I was looking at. I was like, all these ETFs or all these sectors are going pretty hot. For the gold miner ETF, it's basically at the low. It's basically like at the lowest part. And I thought, is this gonna go lower, or is this just some undervalued asset that I think is gonna increase? And I thought, I like the mining space, I like the metals, I think it's going higher. So I saw this as, I'm gonna buy this. So I start buying it. Let's say, I think actually I can put it on the trades, but let's just say $20 because it's pretty obvious I had to be buying here. 2018, probably right here, probably $24, let's say. We had a decent move up, then it crashed, because Corona. I don't think I bought any more of this, but then it shot up. I think I sold at probably $40 because it's the technical level. Then it sold off. This would have been a decent rebuy, but not because of hindsight, but just because, look at that wick there, you got this wick here, you got this wick, you got this wick back here, you have technical indicators. But so, I mean, that trade, let's say 25, that's 60%. Like, that's a lot of growth. Depends on your time frame, how you're gonna look up. But then again, I guess if you go to the SPY in the same time, whoops, what just happened? Let's say before the crash and then after, like 30. So I guess, yeah, the JDX, no. Maybe a little less. Maybe it's like 10-20% more, but the JDX. But I think if you want the most growth, long-term growth, growth. You gotta look at sectors that are being hit hard because they most likely might come back if given a long enough time frame. And that's where you get your most appreciation. So what do you personally think about cryptocurrencies and its potential? So I like the idea of a different currency, but I'm trying to think. I think it has a lot of uses that I don't understand. But I think the market right now is just bonkers. Like there's so many useless cryptocurrencies. There's so much like hype and talking about it and like technical trading and the like movement of money and just exchanging wealth. I think a lot of people are getting burned, and I don't think the space is that good. But I think there are good cryptocurrencies. Like I think Ethereum is pretty good. If I had to pick one, this would probably be mine. I think this is like silver, to make the analogy, and Bitcoin's gold. I think Ethereum's pretty spicy. Dogecoin, the thing is, I just don't understand, like, if something could be mined, like, every day, like, 10,000, or, I think they said every minute, like, 1,000 new coins, that just literally means that it's becoming worthless over time. Like, why would you want to acquire something that is innately becoming more worthless every minute? I don't know. So that's just a quick example, but I think cryptocurrencies do or will have a place in the future, but I think governments are going to really try to control it. And I guess this is the big thing. There most likely will be a global currency. I don't think it will be the dollar, just because I think other countries are going to be like, no, let's just all make a new currency. I think that's more fair in a way for the rest of the world. But I don't know about all the politics and stuff involved with that, but I think the world is going to want one currency, or like a series of currencies that isn't monitored by a single government. And I think that's what they're really going for. And I think a cryptocurrency or a group of cryptocurrencies is going to have, or that's going to be like the main use of it. But I think the potential, so man, if that were to happen, I think it's like thousands of more percent return than like where this is, where Bitcoin's at now, like easily. I think it might take time to get there. I'm not saying it will, but I think it's so hard to predict these prices because this could go back to like 10 grand easily. But I think long term, if it does have its use, it can literally be like maybe $1 million of Bitcoin, just because that's how much demand it's going to be needing. But I don't think I'm willing to bet that risk, or put that risk on and bet it, because I don't know if it'll ever get there. But yeah, I think the upside could be very massive, and the downside could also be pretty massive, so I guess I'm not really saying anything. But at the end of the day, like, Bitcoin, the lowest it could go is 0. And just for an example, and the highest it could go is technically infinity. Like, what if the whole world's currency is agreed upon? Bitcoin is gonna be it. I think that's a stretch, but I think it's worth to consider, or at least discuss, like a possibility. Alright, here's the last. I guess we already answered this, but what's your most bullish stock and why? So again, it's going to depend on the time frame, but I think just Disney is, if I had to own any stock, you told me, you never told me the price, and I just like bought it every month, I would, it would be Disney easily. Just love the company and the things they have. I think I don't love every aspect of the company, I'll say that. I think like, yeah, there's just some political stuff they might be trying to do, but it is what it is. No company's 100% perfect, but I do love the products and I like the business they built it around. So yeah, we already did discuss that. But your most bullish stock, my most bullish stock, I guess I could give a short-term one. Actually, I didn't really mention, I don't know if anyone's watching this far, but I bought some Krispy Kreme. I'm in at 1768. I thought it'd be fun just to hop in, I don't know, just have some fun. I'm pretty bullish. Actually, I forgot about KL. Yeah, I'm pretty bullish on KL. Not like right now, the chart just looks so bad. But this company, man, they have like no debt. They make so much money, like cash flow. They just opened up another mine like last year and they're bringing in the big bucks. They're buying back so many shares. I think it's so solid of a company, but the chart just looks trash. It's a pretty mid-tier company, so actually, what's the market cap? I'm curious. I think it's like 10 billion. 10 billion, that seems too high. What? 10 billion? 10.4. Yeah. I guess I'm pretty bullish on that. I just stopped talking about it because it's just a roller coaster ride, and I don't even know. Oh, I'm on it for so long. But yeah, I still got this Apple trade on. It's doing really well right now. I thought I would have gotten another buy opportunity at this trend line, but I didn't. But it's okay, because we're in. Alright, anyway, that's all the questions we had. So, I mean, there actually weren't too many, but I did, I think, discuss them a little bit too in depth. But if anyone has any other questions or something they want me to just ramble about, let me know. I do put all of your like suggestions in an Excel spreadsheet. I'm looking at it right now. It's not that I don't like I'm ignoring you guys. It's just there's a lot of stuff to do, and there's also videos that I want to make as well. So it's just a time thing. So yeah, that's basically why. But anyway, let me know what you thought of the video, and if I hopefully answered your questions decently at least. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll try to put timestamps in the video. This way, if you want to jump around, I guess you'd already seen it by now. This is the end of the video. Anyway, take care, everybody, and hopefully I'll talk to you all again in another video real soon. Alright, I'll see you. Thank you. Thanks again for 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully this channel goes much higher, but you know, I'm never greedy with like people watching my videos. I've wanted this, or I've wanted people to watch my stuff for so long. So I'm like genuinely really thankful for everybody watching these videos, and especially if you're watching these last like 30 seconds of the video where I just decide to throw in some random information, because it means a lot, you know. Helps me sleep at night. Anyway, yeah. Take care, everybody. Thank you, and I'll talk to you.